Hold 'em up like we came for the ransom. I'm in the field, 2-minute drill, highlight reel. Let's review, what's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go, that's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here, back to back, Nat Chimps, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care, come on. 3-point stance, we advance, ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rant. Nothing but rant. Nothing but rant. Nothing but rant. On the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You like that? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies? What, freeze on us?
Yeah, keep going.
Froze on us, but hey, we're good. We got audio. We are here. We are loaded down for an absolutely epic show for you guys, off to a very hot start. We did get hit with a massive thunderstorm just before the show. No blaming that for what's going on right now, but hey, hot start to a Thursday show. I do believe I hear a little bit of echo back there too, so you might want to mute the TV when you get the camera back on. But yeah, we got a great one planned for you guys tonight. Kirby's over there doing a little, what do you call this, troubleshooting right about now.
Yeah, so I'm deleting the black magic, and now I'm adding it back.
Yep.
From video capture, adding source, clicking that, and it is still frozen, unfortunately. But in the meantime, I guess we can banter about what we will be talking about today. I don't know how much of a intro you gave the people, but obviously ACC Media Days are going on underway right now, which is one of the biggest stories that we'll probably be getting this week. And my goodness, were the coaches talking reckless this time of year. Not reckless, but just giving some quotes that are eyebrow-raising, in my opinion, and in Brooks's, so we'll definitely be talking on that. After that, we'll get down to Alabama and what they can do to win a national championship this year. We started this out with Georgia, did Texas on Tuesday, and now we'll be doing Alabama today. Some big contenders and just seeing what all they need to do. Did we fix the echo as well?
No, you got to mute the, just hit over there and hit
yes.
the mute button. Put us back in one. Let's start over. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film God Network on a fabulous Thursday evening here inside the studio. It is our last show. Despite what just happened the last 90 seconds, it is going to be our best show. And Kirby, it is our last show without Stretch. Without the homie
yes.
Jay Will, he will be making his much anticipated return on this platform Monday live from Tampa, Florida. All right, so hey, this is a great time to make sure you already have the show on announcements, or hit that little bell alert so you know when we're going live, and you get the notifications, all that good stuff from the platform. But yeah, Stretch's paternity leave. For those of you who don't know, Jay Will had a baby. Jay Will's paternity leave ends on Monday, and I would imagine, as it did me, fatherhood has probably sculpted the takes just even finer. You know what I mean?
I am excited to see him back.
I bet Buddy comes back with some damn heat. You know what I mean? I hope we get like top 5 things you shouted at the wall while you were on the couch and your baby was asleep. That's what I want. Because I don't know about you, but I've been giving takes on a microphone 300 days a year since 2019.
About that, yeah.
Like the idea of going 6 weeks off right now, my wife would kick me out of the house. Like, she would just be like, bro, I don't care what you think about Alabama's interior defensive line. Like, shut up. Like, it's enough. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to get homie back on the show. I'm glad you guys, or I bet you guys are excited to see him as well. Lord knows I am. I missed that joker. But we got a great show for you guys tonight. We have ACC Media Days underway, and they are certainly delivering. The homie Cody Campbell back in the news already. It's only been about 3 weeks since we've talked about my man, and he gave us some gold, or rather, some fine reporting gave us some gold. Let me get $1, man. Since
For
you're
real.
just handing them out to everybody, let me get $1, man.
I think we're probably past that though. From
Yeah,
this
slightly,
show, probably not getting
maybe.
any money from him.
But somebody was like, hey, I can't believe you go at him so hard in the mentions and on social media. I'm like, what? He got enough to bother with apart from threatening me. You know, I'm sure he'll come around at some point with a threat. But anyways, CBS potentially in their bag. We might talk about that tonight as well. And if they are going to win a title, ... they must. We're going to attack another team today with that category. Did well in the Georgia space, did well in the Texas space. We're going to repeat that tonight with somebody. We're going to bury the lead on that. You're going to have to wait to find out who it is.
I think I did tell them while you were fixing the cameras.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
They probably weren't listening. Yeah. They probably weren't listening. They were probably like,
dude, listening was
the black screen.
Listening was the only thing they could have done.
You're right. Listening was the only thing they could have done, but hopefully they didn't. It's Alabama. We're going to talk about those guys tonight. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're telling a friend. I mean, we are so close to 100K. I guarantee you right now, stamp it. Put it in Brooks's promises over there on Discord. I bet we hit 100K before the season because August, I got something brewing for you folks. I am going to attempt to put this program in front of about 35 of the biggest college football programs we could possibly get in August with the only way that we know how. And that's with that film. I'm so excited for what August is in store. I've been doing so much work on that projector screen in there, watching ball. I can't wait to get back in front of the board and actually grind some tape with you folks. But tonight, we're going to grind these here takes on this mic. Man, I'm excited to be here with you guys tonight. Kirby, let's start with the news, all right? The Texas Tribune released an article yesterday. And I will bring it back to your memory. Y'all remember when Texas's Attorney General Ken Paxton threatened to sue the Big 12 on behalf of Brennan Sorsby and Texas Tech?
Yep.
And Kirby, do you remember that night when I was kind of talking about it, and then I did some Googling in the middle of the live stream to find out, you know, maybe Cody Campbell's giving some money to Ken Paxton. You know, maybe not directly connected, but perhaps he's giving some money. And we had seen in the public databases that indeed Cody Campbell had given him some money. How much money? Well, the Texas Tribune let us know today. Come to find out, the night before the Attorney General for Texas, Ken Paxton, threatened to sue the Big 12, coincidentally, $275,000 was donated by one Cody Campbell. Cody Campbell, obviously, the owner of Texas Tech Athletics. Is that safe? I mean, he might as well be Jerry Jones of Texas Tech.
It's the unofficial title.
This is as high up as he is the boss of Texas Tech Athletics because of how much money he has given to that place. He basically runs the joint. And $275,000 donated to Ken Paxton the night before Ken Paxton threatened to sue the Big 12 on behalf of Texas Tech. Now, it should be noted, Kirby, that Cody Campbell has already donated to Ken Paxton previously. Any guesses on how much money prior to the lump sum of $275,000 the night before Ken Paxton on behalf of Texas Tech threatened to sue the Big 12? Any idea on how much money he had donated?
I'm going to assume it's probably not $275,000.
That would be a tremendous guess. In the entirety of Ken Paxton's campaign donations, prior to the $275,000 donation, Cody Campbell had given him $30,000 over several different payments, and then bam, $275 large in one night the night before Paxton goes out and decides to threaten to sue the Big 12. It's actually his second largest political donation per the Texas Tribune today. Gave about $1.2 million to the Trump Foundation and Trump campaign. So this is second place. He also gives a bunch of money to Ted Cruz, who's the guy actually peddling his Save College Sports Act. So, this guy This guy does a lot with his money. Does a lot of good with his money. You know, buys football players for Texas Tech and donates a lot of money to certain political figures. Now, if I didn't know any better, Kirby, and these are not allegations, I'm just saying, if I didn't know any better, I would say that donating almost $300,000 to a publicly elected official, the night before that official goes on to do something that carries favor for you, might be considered something that rhymes with tribe. But I don't think it is. You know, there's no allegations here. You guys connect the dots. Feel free to do whatever you want with that information, but it looked a little fishy to me. And it looked a little fishy from the jump street, Kirby.
Yeah, and you know, I can't off the top of my head name one time in the existence of this country where politicians have been corrupt or done shady things.
No.
I have no clue if that's what's going on. This could be a very, very much a coincidence.
I mean, American politicians cannot be bought.
No,
There's
absolutely
just
not.
can't. There's
Absolutely
no way
not.
that you can. I mean, the system is too morally upstanding. Like, we can't be having politicians being bought by campaign funds. That's not what happens in this country ever.
No,
You know?
never.
Yeah, so I don't have many thoughts here other than the fact that we all knew it. We sniffed it the night Ken Paxton came out and decided he was going to do this. Everybody started looking through campaign funds. The funny thing about campaign funds, you kind of have to report them. You kind of have to let people know where the money came from. So there was no hiding this. I would imagine Cody Campbell knew that this type of story at some point was going to come out. Oh, that's suspicious. You gave a almost 10x donation of your previous donations combined the night before an elected official decides to go out and sue the conference on your behalf. Now, Texas Tech fans with their little cacti emojis in their profiles would probably tell you that, the AG for Texas would have done this for any Texas school. Yeah, I'm sure. Just interesting right there. There's nothing that's going to come of this, by the way, because when your bank account ends in, 9 zeros? Or is that 10 zeros?
A lot of zeros.
When your bank account ends in that many zeros, you're just above the law normally. You just get to do whatever you want. Again, that's what history in this country typically tells us. So, yeah, shout out to Cody Campbell for giving us some more news today. Shout out to the Texas Tribune for doing that reporting today as well. Now, the actual news, Kirby, that really matters other than billionaires maybe giving money to politicians in service of their programs. The ACC Media Days are fully underway.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on here. Did you see the Mario Cristobal quotes today?
Yeah, I found him kind of interesting, and I guess I don't even know how you would describe it. It seems like at some point coaches either care to cover their tracks or they don't, and this is obviously a case where Mario Cristobal did want to cover his tracks for the Darian Mensah thing, and for those of you who don't know, I don't have the quote in front of me, but basically, do you have the quote?
Yeah, he said, quote, "We felt like Mensah, when Mensah hit the portal, we felt like this was a guy that we'd like to pursue. Once he hit the portal, we started to pursue him."
Yeah, and the other one was, the quote I saw as well was him talking about how this basically wasn't really about money. Money was going to be a factor whether he stayed at Duke or Miami, but he chose to go to Miami because you can compete for national titles and win Heismans as well.
Well, that's not really true, considering he was set to make $4 million at Duke this year in his final year of an $8 million deal, 2-year deal up there with Duke, and it's reported he's going to get anywhere from $6.5 million to $10 million based on performance incentives.
Yes.
At Miami. So, yeah, I mean, he got a 50% raise?
Pretty much.
At floor minimum. So, it had a little bit to do with money. The timing on it, we all sniffed it. We all smelt it and thought it was really, really weird. Just like we all know that, and I'm not doing any reporting here, but I think we all know that LSU was the team that tampered with Demond Williams. Is that fair? I think we all know that.
Were they?
Yeah.
Because I always thought they had their hands in the Sam Levitt pot.
They had their hands in the Demond Williams pot first, and then Sam Levitt was the backup plan, it seemed like to me. That's why Lane Kiffin was on a plane to Knoxville, Tennessee to meet with Sam Levitt at the airport when he was visiting Venison. Been watching too much Meat Eater. When he was visiting Tennessee.
Okay.
You remember that tweet?
I do remember that,
He tweeted
yes.
that he was in the terminal in Knoxville's airport. That was to sit down with Sam Levitt in a last-minute type of deal. But, yeah, no, the timing on this was really, really weird for me. I mean, Mensah, if my memory serves me correct, entered the portal January 16th, which is the exact day the portal closes.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me that was because Miami kind of struck out on everybody else, or at least they were slow playing it all because they were playing for national title. I mean, they were in a different circumstance than 99.9% of schools, everybody not named Indiana, so timing was a little bit weird for them. Also, did you read the part where Duke got a significant buyout?
I didn't see that, no.
Yeah, because Duke turned around and sued Mensah for not fulfilling his 2-year contract, and Mensah turned around and gave them a buyout. And the buyout, per reports, was a, quote, significant buyout, and there's rumors that it was north of $1 million. Going to go out on a limb here and say that didn't come out of Mensah's bank account.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I would imagine somebody picked up that bill for him. This is new. I new in the sense that, like, we've seen the Dabo Swinney thing, like, come up with when he got mad about Luke Farrelly. We've seen Jed Fish get pretty upset about the Demon Williams situation. We've seen a lot of these. The interconference thing, though, I don't think this is the first we've seen, in my opinion, where it's like the big dog in the conference just straight up took a player, 2 players, Cooper Barkay as well, 2 players from another interconference team, a conference team, by the way, who won the conference last year in the form of the Duke Blue Devils. And everybody kind of just I haven't been outraged about it. I don't think anybody in the chat is outraged about it. In fact, I think most people, when they read this story or hear about this story, they're just like, nature of the business, like that's the way they kind of feel. But I'm very curious to see what Manny Diaz has to say. I would imagine he gets asked about this. I don't know when he's due to speak, but he didn't speak today. I would imagine he gets asked about it tomorrow or whenever he's at the podium.
For sure. And I will say that the interconference changings have been going on for some time. I don't think just nabbing a team's starting quarterback and buying them away is kind of what we've begun seeing. And that's, I'm sure, what you're referencing.
And their leading receiver last minute,
Right.
Where if you're Duke, you go through that whole transfer portal window thinking, okay, we got our $4 million quarterback who led the league in passing last year coming back, and we got a wide receiver who led the league in receiving yards coming back, and you wake up on the 16th and it's like, no, sir, you do not, out of nowhere. So that is a little bit shocking, I would imagine, if you're a Duke Blue Devil fan and football coach. I'm very, very curious to see what Manny Diaz has to say tomorrow about this situation. Kirby Smart, Christian Kirby, Dabo Swinney is Elvis Presley.
Okay, I need to hear this.
Did you see this quote today?
I saw the quote about him, doing the dating thing. I did not see the Elvis one.
So the quote today was, he was asked about recruiting in the portal, and he said, it was crazy because you meet a guy at 9:30 on a Monday night and you get married at 11 a.m. the next day. It's like you're Elvis in the wedding chapel, and you hope it's going to last forever. That was a little different.
Huh. Well,
he probably watched Hangover before he saw that or something.
Yeah, he stays with the movie references.
Yeah.
But also, like, sometimes you do meet that person, but a lot of times from what we've seen is, like, you have a previous relationship with this person. You know them to a certain degree. You've scouted them. You know their talents and their capabilities. It's not like you both are sitting down and go, it's not blind dating like he's making it out to be. But then again, he's not someone who has a ton of experience in the transfer portal.
That's what I was going to get at, Kirby. I would argue that it's more blind dating for Clemson than any other football program that recruits in the portal.
Probably.
Because everybody else is tampering. Everybody else is collecting information far before December hits, far before January hits. They're all I'm sure everyone evaluates, but I'm sure everybody but Clemson puts feelers out and finds out who's actually going to be in the portal or who's actually poachable or who's actually convincing or, able to be convinced into entering the portal. For Clemson, though, I would imagine it's, hey, these guys hit. Let's evaluate them. Let's get them on the phone. All that being said, I would hope they're recruiting out of the portal guys that, like you mentioned, they had previous relationships with out of high school or previous recruitments with those football players, so you're not caught off guard with them as individuals or who they might be or what how they go about their business and all that good stuff. I've also noticed, and this is just me. I think Dabo's a really, really good football coach, but have you noticed how much he says like the comment about Christopher Vizina today? He was like, we ended up going with CV and sticking with CV because we felt like if we went into the portal and got a shiny new toy and it didn't go well, people would crush us. Did you see this quote?
Yeah.
I see a lot of this from Dabo lately, where it's like, on one hand, you act like you don't care what other people outside of your program think. And then on the other hand, you say things like that, where you basically admit you didn't go grab a portal quarterback because you were afraid of the blowback from a portal quarterback not working. That's really weird to me. How we're talking out of both sides of our mouth quite often up there, I feel like.
Yeah, and that will tend to happen and let's just be honest. When things are going well, when you're experiencing success, you don't have to listen to what anyone says. When Clemson was competing for national championships and they were basically walking away with the ACC every year, Dabo Swinney didn't have to answer any questions about transfers. Dabo Swinney didn't have to answer any questions about how he evaluates recruits and all these things. Clemson has not been a very good football team the last 2 seasons, and now a lot of people are looking around at this and going, what's going on here? And you feel the pressure of those questions. You feel the pressure of those criticisms because they're not working in your favor like they once were. So, yeah, I would imagine that there is some handling with care of transfer portal things and such as that because you have to start caring what people think because you're not as successful.
My favorite, I don't care what other people think, Dabo Swinney quote was, and I'm paraphrasing here, after a loss last year, a devastating loss, he was like, yeah, maybe that's what we needed to get some of these people up off the bandwagon.
Yeah,
it's like, Coach, you want as many supporters as you possibly can get, especially in today's day and age. I don't want people jumping off the wagon at all. Stay on the wagon. Stay as long as you can be here. Matter of fact, pass the offering basket around. Let's get as much money into this program as we possibly can. Some interesting things coming from Dabo. Basically said they sucked last year.
True.
Agree. And no excuses. All the pressure in the world, ready to go this year.
It's great.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see about that.
I hope it
Did
works
you see what Jeff Brom said?
Yeah, about playing 11 Power 4 teams.
Said that parity in college football is at a higher point than ever before. I agree. And said that he wished every school in the Power 4 would play 11 Power 4 opponents every single year. ACC doesn't play 9 conference games yet, do they?
I think they do.
Are they one of these? No, I think they play. Some of them play 8, some of them play 9. Kirby, look this up. I think this is one of those weird things about the ACC, one of the many weird things about the ACC, where some of their member schools have 9-game slates and some of them have 8-game slates.
They're transitioning as well.
So they're in the middle of a transition period?
Correct. So they'll be doing that in 2026.
Yeah.
And the 9 versus 8 thing, I believe, was some of the teams that joined the ACC had already had non-conference matchups. So as a meeting between 2 ACC teams, it's a conference matchup. However, it did not count towards their record.
It makes a whole lot of nonsense.
Yes.
But anyways, this is rich, I think, because – yeah, the ACC and Big 12 schools probably should schedule 11 P4 opponents on their schedules. You'd be hard-pressed to figure out why the Big 10 and the SEC would ever feel the need to do that, especially the SEC with their strength of schedule numbers as of late. I wrote down their schedule this year. Do you want to hear it?
Is this Louisville?
This is the Louisville Cardinals schedule.
Let's hear it.
Okay, season opener against Ole Miss.
Tough.
Villanova at home.
All right.
SMU at home.
Okay.
Wake Forest at home. They go on the road to NC State.
It's getting uglier.
Florida State.
Okay.
At Syracuse.
Not great.
Then a bye week. They play Stanford at home. Mm-hmm. They play at Georgia Tech. They play at North Carolina. Pittsburgh at home. And then they finish at Kentucky.
Yeah.
By the way, 58th ranked strength of schedule.
And I feel bad for certain teams like this to where – even to some degree, I feel bad for Texas Tech because it's not necessarily their fault that everyone around them has faltered and your strength of schedule is suffering because of that. Ole Miss is obviously a great team. Florida State should be a really, really tough matchup, and Florida State is not a program where it should be. I mean, I remember a time when North Carolina was perennially a top 25 football team. Hell, I remember when Georgia Tech was consistently around the top 15 because they were a great program. Like Stanford a decade ago was national title contenders, and I know that wasn't in the ACC, and I know a lot of things have changed since then, but there's a lot of big brands on here and big names. It's not like they're playing Akron, and then we're going and playing Villanova or UL Monroe. Like, there's big names here. It just so happens that all the teams happen to suck right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you draw Miami as Louisville, it makes the schedule much, much tougher.
Correct.
And that's kind of where the ACC stands right now. If you draw Louisville and if you draw Miami, you got a tough slate. Otherwise, you probably don't. And I bet you could take strength of schedule numbers and directly tie it to basically who plays Miami and who plays Louisville. I am with you in the sense that it is not Louisville's fault that Florida State's in the dumper. It is not Texas Tech's fault that everybody else in the Big 12, not named BYU, is in the dumper. It is, however, these conferences' fault for continuing to expand. It is 100% the ACC's fault for having 16-member schools. Mm-hmm. It is 100% the Big 12's fault for taking UCF and Cincinnati when Oklahoma and Texas left. Your conference is going to get worse. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And when your conference depth gets worse, that means your schedules get worse. I mean, it's simple, right? Like, I do blame the Big Ten for going to 18. And, yeah, they took some good programs, but it hasn't helped out the bottom of their league. It hasn't helped out the Rutgerses of the world. It hasn't helped out the Northwesterns of the world. In fact, I would argue it's made it harder for those football programs to get up off the mat. And if I were an athletic director of those schools, we'd be taking our TV money and putting it into basketball. We'd be taking our TV money and putting it into something other than football because we probably won't run these teams down. So I don't blame those schools. I do blame their conferences. 100% blame their conferences for the stuff that they got going on. And it's really, really tough for schools like Louisville and Florida State in particular, Kirby, because I don't see the way out of this conference.
Yeah,
and same for Clemson, to be honest with you. Like, in your states, they have member schools already. Like, Louisville is probably never getting out of the ACC into an SEC because of Kentucky, right? Like, South Carolina is not going to allow Clemson into the SEC. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no getting out of these conferences most of the time.
Well, there is hope if you're a big enough brand and if you can become that. Like, Florida State is a very big brand. And
I bet you $500 that Florida State will not be in the SEC.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But, like, the SEC had a Texas school before it added Texas. The SEC had a Texas school before it went and added Texas.
That's true.
So I think that's like where you would have to hang your hat on.
And they almost didn't get in because does it have to be a unanimous vote?
I don't remember. I do remember Texas A&M was not
A&M threw a hissy fit.
Correct. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, from a TV rights standpoint, yeah, it would benefit other conferences to get states they don't have. But also, when you're a brand like Florida State, like Clemson, even if they're not at their peak right now, adding that to your conference does make it a more desirable product.
Yeah, I would like for everybody to play 4 Power 4 conference game or Power 4 games, like Jeff Brom says, from a standpoint of, dude, the amount of matchups we would get every single week. Like, there'd never be a dull week, but I mean, who would survive?
No,
other than ACC schools, other than Big 12 schools.
Yeah,
like the SEC and the Big 10, their football teams would not survive.
No,
so it just, I don't think it's not balanced. That's the whole point we always talk about.
Yeah, and increasing the workload for your conference isn't going to increase the parity of schedule difficulties. Mm-hmm. A Big 10 and an SEC schedule is still always going to be harder than a ACC or Big 12 schedule, no matter how many conference games you play. So I understand what Jeff Brom wants to do there because, yeah, his program is suffering from the fact that he's in a conference where the opposition is not nearly as talented, but there's not a lot you can do while you're within that conference.
Well, there's nothing stopping Jeff Brom and Louisville from scheduling 11 Power 4 games.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing stopping him from doing it. So go right ahead if you want to. I don't think he does, even though I think they play 10, and they're close to it.
Most teams play 10.
Yeah, that's true.
Like especially when you have an out-of-conference rival like Louisville, you will play 10 because your extra game is a rivalry game. So, yeah, it makes sense.
They play 11. Yep, they play 11.
Okay. So, yeah, it makes sense.
So he's living up to his word. He says everyone should do this. He does it. So good on him. I mean, they schedule out of conference as good or better than anybody else. It's Ole Miss and it's Kentucky and it's Villanova, and then they play 9 conferences, 9 conference games. All right, Kirby, this segment has been doing really, really well, and it's if they are going to win a national title, they must. Today's football team, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Shout out to the Alabama Crimson Tide folk in the chat. Make sure you're firing off. Make sure you're commenting in the upload on this as well. If we're whatever we missed, whatever we're wrong on, feel free to voice that opinion strongly. Let's start it off. I'm going to rattle mine off, Kirby, and then you fill in the gaps.
Go ahead.
If Alabama is going to win a national title, they have got to play complementary football on offense. They were an automatic passing football team from second quarter on in about 75% of their football games last year. As soon as they came up to the line of scrimmage, everybody in the building knew they were throwing the football because they couldn't run the ball.
No.
And what that leads to as games progress is defensive ends just pinning their ears back and getting after it, like firing off the ball like you ain't never seen because there is no threat to run. So, yes, y'all were bad at protecting the passer last year. I think you gave up 32 sacks, probably the most in the last 15, 20 years at Alabama. But a lot of that was because, hey, Damon Wilson and Zion Young over there, they know for a fact you are not throwing the ball, right? Georgia couldn't get after nobody at the quarterback position last year except for Bama because you ran for -3 yards in a football game. And I think maybe like had 4 or 5 rushing attempts in the entire second half combined. So, like, when that happens, we turn good rushers into great rushers. We turn great rushers into what on earth are we going to do today type of rushers. So, yes, that's an obvious one. They have got to find some way to be complementary on offense because, again, there were no repercussions to pinning your ears back and getting after the quarterback last year. Kirby, they were held under 30 yards rushing in each of their final 3 football games.
And that's Indiana, Oklahoma, and Georgia.
Yep, under 30 yards rushing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that. -3, I think it was like 24 yards and 27 yards. No way to win football games that way, despite the fact that somehow, some way they beat Oklahoma on the road. That was a magic trick when you go back and look at it. Now, they dropped back, Kirby. This is how bad their run game was. They dropped back to pass on almost 60% of offensive snaps last year.
60?
60%. If you take away their sack totals that are counted as rushing attempts in college football and you add them into their passing attempts, because that's what they were, they attempted to pass the football and failed because they were sacked. If you take those and tilt them over to what they are, which is passing attempts, you'll come up to about 58%, and that does not include all of the scrambles that Ty Simpson had a year ago. So, yeah, they were about 60% to 40% pass to run, which is not really where we want to be as offensive play callers. And believe it or not, like everybody knows they were absolutely terrible at running the ball last year. They were terrible at protecting the quarterback last year. They also weren't that great at stopping the run last year on defense. And I know the defense carried them late in the year, and they ended up tuning it up, and they became one of the better defenses in college football towards the end of it. But, Kirby, I was shocked to find out today and realize today that they allowed 200 yards rushing in 3 games last year.
I didn't think it was that many.
3 football games. Now, the Florida State one, that's Malzahn. Like, we just kind of throw that out there. But, yeah, they gave up 200 yards rushing to Georgia and Indiana as well. Here's a hot take. It's probably not a hot take. It's probably just the way I feel. Their running game does struggle. And I don't think, by the way, that they magically fixed the running back position, right? Hollywood Smothers would have fixed that. Texas did not allow that.
Really?
Texas gave him basically a blank checkbook. Now he's a Texas Longhorn. I think he would have alleviated some of the problems or at least added to that room something that they needed. I don't know if Daniel Hill and the bunch are quite good enough. Like, we're depending a lot on Xavier Crowell as a true freshman, a 17-year-old freshman at that. He's a reclassed kid. He should still be in high school football. So, and A.K. Deer's got to take another step. I know they had a running back that looked really, really good in the spring game, but like we got to find something out of the running back room. And even if we don't, it's why I think it has to be Keelan Russell over Austin Mack. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Austin Mack as a quarterback. I think even if he is the guy, he's going to do a really, really good job. But if they're going to find complementary offense, I think it's going to have to come from the fact that their quarterback's a threat to run the ball. And Keelan Russell's certainly the bigger threat to run the football. I think he could help balance counts a little bit more, or at least hold backside edge defenders accountable, Kirby, because last year they definitely weren't. Like, Ty would pull the ball every once in a while, and they had some design quarterback stuff for him, like once in a blue moon. But the idea of not having a mobile quarterback nowadays in college football is probably one of the biggest things that will kill your run game.
Yeah, I mean, making Ty mobile last year is what ultimately got him injured. And you're right. I think back to the 2024 season with the first year of this Kalen DeBoer offense, Alabama's traditional run game wasn't really great then, but because Jalen Milroe was so dynamic on the ground with his legs, they were able to have these games where things were spurting. The first half against Georgia, the game on the road against LSU, they ran the ball very efficiently, and that's in large part due to what Jalen Milroe was doing. So you're absolutely right. If Keelan Russell can add some sort of wrinkle to that run game they have, they'll be a manageable running team. Like you said, I don't think they're going to be great at it, but it could be enough to win the games you need.
I think they have plenty of firepower at wide receiver, even without Noah Rodgers, however long he's hurt. I think he might be out all year.
Yeah, it didn't sound great.
Yeah. But anyways, you've heard me talk about the wide receiver core on this channel before. If you're an Alabama fan, have a tremendous upside, and I think they're going to be fine. I think we're probably going to get a better year from Ryan Williams this year potentially as well. But let's flip over to the defensive side of the football, Kirby. I don't know how they can, but they got to find a way to keep scoring on defense.
Yeah.
They had 3 pick sixes last year, and it completely flipped football games, right? The pick six from Xavier Brown before the half against Tennessee flipped that football game on its head. The pick six against Oklahoma in the playoff game, Xavier Brown again, obviously flipped that game on its head. And I thought the biggest play that kind of sparked their ability to beat South Carolina on the road was a pick six early in that football game as well. So find a way to keep scoring on defense, and I know that's like a wish and a prayer, a hope and a prayer, but they've got to find a way to continue that because it was huge last year for them.
It's not even scoring on defense. It's just putting your offense in position to score because of turnovers. They beat Georgia because of a fumble that was caused inside the red zone.
Shout out Ray Hubbard.
I think they forced 2 interceptions against Missouri in a game they won by 3 points. Like, the defense came in clutch for them multiple times last year, so you're absolutely right. Like, you need to find ways to continue making turnovers.
Kirby, did you know that they led the nation in forced fumbles last year?
I would believe that. That makes sense. They were all over it.
I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it keeps giving us the circle of death. Make sure you're hitting the refresh over there if that's a problem.
We're good. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm just frustrated. Really frustrated tonight. I think that might be a YouTube thing. Could be us. I don't know. Just keep after it. Turnovers are usually a luck stat, Kirby, honestly.
To a certain degree, yeah.
To a certain degree. And the only team, as long as I've been watching and covering football, that kind of bucked this trend was basically Bill Belichick while he was in New England. Mm-hmm. They obviously coached something up. They knew something. They taught it up right. But this guy, I mean, I think they had 16 forced fumbles last year and recovered 9 of them. You know, that's elite turnover production. They got to find a way to continue that if they're going to win a national title. They're also going to have to get really good play out of linebackers who haven't played a bunch of football.
Yeah.
It is not a matter of talent at Alabama at the linebacker room. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying these aren't good football players. But QB Reese hasn't played a ton of football. Caden Jones hasn't played a ton of football. Luke Metz has not played a ton of football. In fact, the only guy in the room that's played a bunch of balls is Caleb Woodson, the Virginia Tech transfer. So they got 4 guys that they're going to rotate through 2 spots, it sounds like, and they're going to have to play really, really well. And that's a projection, right? And again, it's not a matter of talent. It's just we got to go see it. I think the other thing, Kirby, defensively is Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill need to absolutely wreck football games. They need to absolutely wreck football games. And Pierre did this last year. He's going to have to continue as much this year. And Justin Hill, I would find a way to play both those guys at once. Like, we can't be rotate. I think they're their 2 most disruptive box players. I don't think we can be rotating those guys on and off the field. They need to play somehow, some way at all times. It looked to me, watching spring game, that Yanze Pierre had put enough weight on to stand up and hold the edge. And I know Justin Hill is a man-child in the sense that he's a lunatic. Like, he'll go down there and do it. So I think maybe pull a defensive end off the field, maybe play 2 jacks, basically, is what I'm saying at times, because they are your most disruptive football players. If Alabama's going to win a national title, though, Kirby, I think London Simmons, the sophomore defensive tackle that was a tremendous find, 3-star out of high school, played really well last year as a freshman. He's got to somehow take another step. The Bingley Jones kid, the transfer, he's going to have to hit as a nose tackle, and somehow, some way, they're going to have to find winnable play out of whoever replaces LT Overton.
Yeah.
And look, I know LT was a lower draft pick than most people expected from a high school 5-star, but every time I watched 22 the last several years, I thought he was a very, very winnable football player. Never in a bad spot, never doing things wrong, and always made the play in moments where they needed him to make a play. Go watch 4th and 2 against Georgia on the road. Those things need to get found on the defensive side of the football. And one of the final things I got for you here, Kirby, is I think they're going to have to take advantage of the schedule, right? ECU at Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, at Mississippi State. That's the 5 games before they host Georgia at home out there in Tuscaloosa. And in those 5 games, they better work themselves into a lather. They better work themselves into a point where they are ready to roll when Georgia comes to town. Because after that, hold on. Just absolutely hold on. It's Georgia. It's at Tennessee. It's A&M. It's a bye week. And then it's at LSU. Okay? And then it's Vandy, Chattanooga, and Auburn. I think we're okay with the back 3. I know the Iron Bowl is always tough, but it ain't that tough when it's in Tuscaloosa. So if they can get through those first 5 games and work themselves, like I said, into a lather, figure out the kinks, whatever they are, get them smoothed out, then boom, get ready for the meat of the schedule. If that's the case, they should be all right. I think they have to get to that at LSU game and get through it with fewer than 2 losses. They just have to, and then they have to win out. I do not think this is a 9-3 playoff schedule. And I know there are thoughts that there might be one this year. I think the only 2 possibilities are Ohio State and Texas. I think those 2 schedules are that tough. Everybody else, and those teams are that good, and they're that media branded and whatnot. I don't think anybody else's schedule is going to play out to be that tough where we can excuse you losing 3 games and get you in. Also, Kirby, it should be noted, there were 5 10-2 football teams last year in the SEC. I doubt there's going to be that many this year. But no, I don't believe this is a 9-3 schedule. So if they're going to get into a playoff and thus get to a national championship, they are going to have to find a way to 10-2 through this schedule.
Yeah, and to talk about the schedule a little bit, I think something else that they need to figure out how to do or is kind of a must for them to win a national championship this year, they have to figure out how to beat Tennessee on the road. They haven't done it in 4 years. Kalen DeBoer's only had 1 shot at it, obviously. They lost in 24, obviously the Incident Classic in 2022. Got to beat Tennessee on the road. And another thing is continue to have regular season dominance over Georgia. If you can win those 2 games, you are going to set yourself up for a lot of grace and a lot of opportunity to have a slip up there, which points to my next thing that cannot happen. They have to stop having these 2 to 3 games a year where they come out extremely flat and they lose to just flat out bad football teams. Vanderbilt was not a great football team when they beat them in 2024. Florida State obviously was not a great football team. Alabama looked flat against Oklahoma at times. They looked flat against Georgia in the SEC championship. We know what the South Carolina game and the Indiana game looked like. So they have to stop this, we don't really know what Alabama's going to show up today. There's got to be some baseline of consistency. I also think they need to be a more physically imposing team.
We'll get to the physically imposing. This is a new thing for DeBoer, right? Like he didn't do this at Washington. He lost the teams he's supposed to lose to at Washington.
Yeah, I think they flirted a couple of times with hey, I don't remember what game it was, but Washington had a scare with a really bad Pac-12 team in 2023 when they went to the national title.
I think it was a rain game. I know what you're talking about, but almost all games in Seattle are rain games. But I do remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where it's like, whoa, y'all are supposed to thump that football team.
Yeah,
so, but they won.
Yeah, they won. I think this also goes back to, like I was saying, and obviously it's not going to be what it looked like under Nick Saban, but there was a sense of physically imposing and what you could do to an opponent just by physically dominating them. And I don't think Alabama has really done that. Like we've said, They don't really defend the run well. They certainly don't run the ball well. When you think of Alabama under Kalen DeBoer, it is not a hard-nosed football team that you don't want to play because they're so physical. And I think that they need to find a way to get more to that. We talked about the running game, how they need to do that. We talked about how the quarterback has to play to a level that is, I don't want to say dynamic, but it almost needs to be that based on everything that's going to be around him. Mm-hmm. The other one that I have is find a way to increase offensive output. I'm going to give you a list of the Power 4 teams Alabama scored 40 points against last year. You ready? All right, that's the end of the list. They didn't do it. And I know 40 points is a lot, and I know that there's a lot of expectations there. Not being able to do it once at all is kind of unacceptable, especially when you are Kalen DeBoer and you have a kind of prestige that you know how to coach offense. So,
I mean, hell, Kirby, even Mike Bobo scored 40 points last year.
Yeah, exactly. And then, everyone knows how people feel about Mike Bobo. So find ways to have more offensive output because I think that you're going to need it.
Do you think there's a potential that we see a year 3 even bigger bump from Kane Womack, the defensive coordinator?
It could be.
I think they're going to need it.
Yeah.
I think they could be, and I do think we're in this new era of college football where it's not all flash and pizzazz on offense anymore. Like, look at the last 3 nights. Now, I know the 2024 Ohio State offense was damn good. I know that. But that defense was great, too. Mm-hmm. The 23 Michigan defense was great. The 25 Indiana defense was incredible. Okay, so, like, we are entering – and obviously the 2 Georgia defenses that won national titles were great, too.
Like, I would say we've been here. Like, we've got half –
I think 2019 LSU and 2020 Alabama were offensive teams.
Sure, but we're talking about half a decade of data points of, hey, defense has won you a national championship. Mm-hmm. Like, 2020 Alabama 6 years ago now. God. Yeah, I know. But we are in an age of defense. We are.
And what a time. What a time to be alive and covering college football. Defense, baby.
It's back.
Let's rock fight our way to a national title. Hell yeah.
It's back.
It is back. You got any other things that Alabama must do to win a national title?
I think you hammered most of them.
I think Alabama fans must hit that like button right about now. Let's get that going. We got some super chubs here, Kirby.
Ooh.
Hunter Moss says, not going to be able to stay up and watch the show live tonight. Going to catch it in the morning. Tear it up tonight, boys. And everybody, Dale would want us to forgive Kirby as long as he's not a Gordon fan.
I got to be honest, I'm not a fan of any NASCAR driver. I think I've collectively in my life watched probably 30 minutes of NASCAR.
I think I'm a William Byron guy.
Okay. I don't know who that is.
William Byron started his racing career as an esports racer.
That's pretty
He was in an eSim. And then he's like, you know what? I'm the best at this. I think I could do this IRL, as the kids say. And William Byron, he'd be doing some driving.
If I had to say I was a fan of a driver, I'd say Billy Prickett.
Dukes of Hazzard reference?
Yeah, dude.
Woo, Billy Prickett!
Great movie.
That is a great movie. It'll be worth putting my paints on for. Marcy Rhea says, has a great time at SEC Media Days. KGB still has terrible taste.
Damn, dude, that's 2 super chubs where I'm getting attacked. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I think you're the pincushion.
People are just paying to insult me now.
I do think they enjoy getting after you.
Definitely.
And that's okay.
Definitely.
I have said on air before, and I know I've told you this off air, you somehow make me more likable. Or at least you're the people throw insults at. Yeah. And that makes me happy.
I'm glad that makes you happy.
I appreciate you, man. Everybody needs it. I had to be the offensive line for everybody else. I had to take hits my entire career for the glorification of others. And I am very thankful that you do that for me on this network.
Wow. It's an honor.
I do love you.
No, thanks, man.
You got some blind rankings for me?
Yeah.
National edition?
I've got a couple of lists that we can do here. Okay. The first one is, it's obviously, for those who don't understand how blind rankings go, you list 5 things and you rank them from 1 to 5. You don't know what's coming next, so you could have a completely messed up list. Correct. First one we're going to do, blind rank these rivalry games. First off, we have Florida versus Florida State.
4.
Yeah, it's weird because it's 2 historical programs.
I wanted to say 5.
It's got some good moments, but like,
when was the last big game those 2 played?
It's been a while.
Where it's like, hey, these are 2 top 10 football teams going at it now.
It's been a while. It's kind of weird that those 2 teams, those 2 programs have never really been coinciding with success. Either Florida's up and the other's down, or Florida State's up and Florida's down. So it is a fairly underwhelming rivalry for the brands that it is. All
It's
right,
a shame.
Next we have Oklahoma and Texas.
It's so hard because I don't know what you've got on that list over there.
There's a lot.
So the Iron Bowl and the game have to either split 1 and 2 for me. So I'm going to automatically put this 3.
Okay.
Assuming that you were nice enough to put those other 2 rivalries on this list, but knowing you prick, you didn't.
We will see. Number 3, Arkansas versus A&M.
5.
That's fair.
If I had an option, I'd put it 6.
It's not a very exciting
It's
rivalry.
the Jerry Jones rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah. They play it in Jerry
World.
World every year. And
Yeah.
all right. Number 4, we have Alabama versus Auburn.
So I have 1 and 2 left.
Correct.
I'll go 2, hoping that you left the game at 1.
All right. The number 5 rivalry and your number 1 ranked rivalry game is Michigan versus Ohio State.
Thank God. I thought you were about to go UNLV San Jose State on me or something crazy.
But it wouldn't be my fault. It's your strategy.
My entire childhood, I feel like, the Ohio State-Michigan game was the only game as a Southerner I sought out from up there. And
Yeah.
I know that's like, oh my God, this SEC. Bro, I grew up in Georgia, okay? I'm lifeblood, been here my whole entire life. But that was appointment television. My entire life has been appointment television. So for me, that makes it 1. And the amount of times that basically was the national title. Like from the 90s into the early aughts, I feel like that was the biggest game in college football every single year. So that goes 1 for me, even though the Iron Bowl is special. The Iron Bowl is like pure raw hatred year round. And so it is as it is up there with the game, but like that there's far more 1-2 matchups in the history of Ohio State, Michigan than there are in Alabama, Auburn.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And that's what kind of sways it for me.
Yeah, I think from a hate standpoint, it's probably a bit stronger in Auburn versus Alabama.
Yeah.
But you are right. From a
How did Arkansas and Texas A&M make this list?
I just had to throw some in there that
You should have Georgia Florida'd me.
I'll keep that in mind next time. Thank you. But yeah, I think that Auburn, Alabama probably is not as impactful to the sport, but it's a much more hate-filled rivalry.
By the way, what segment were we doing the other night when I absolutely stampeded you?
I don't remember.
But I've come up with a new rule on this show, and I want you guys to help me track it, okay? I'm going to put somebody in charge of this in the chat, one of you OGs that's here every single night, and you've made this part of your almost daily habits. Every single time I absolutely step on these guys and refuse to let them talk because I feel like my point's so important that I have to say it now. We got to mark it down and create a fine system. All right, and the fine system is going to go directly back to them in the form of a Christmas bonus every year. Okay, because I would imagine, I've done it 3 or 4 times tonight. I would imagine.
I haven't been keeping track.
I would imagine it's happened 3 or 4 times tonight. Okay, so yeah, somebody volunteer to be the Brooks stepped on the boys tally marker. All right,
Sounds
and
painful.
I'll take you verbatim at the end of the year, however many times it is. I'll give half to them, maybe half to charity, depending on how much the fine system ultimately occurs. Because my God, I'm horrible about it, and here's why. I'm gonna make an excuse for myself. Okay, that right there, football brain. Okay, because I know that if I have a good point in my head, if I don't say it in the next 45 seconds, it's gone forever into the abyss. All right. So that's where it comes from. It's not out of, I just don't want to hear them talk. You know what I mean? Because if I just didn't want to hear them talk, I probably wouldn't have given them a microphone. I love hearing them talk. I just got to get better at letting them finish. I thought you were done the other night talking about Colorado. We were talking about disappointing football teams.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I thought you were done. And I just had to read that Lincoln Riley quote. I just had to get it out. And ADHD plays a little bit of a role into it as well. But somebody pointed it out in the chat and put a timestamp and said, that's by far the worst one ever. And I fully agree. It was by far, and I apologize here on live television for you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my God. It was bad. I'm sorry. So, yeah, shout out to the Blind Rankings. You got 7 minutes to give me a top 5. And I promise you, if you have a blatant omission like the Intimidator, I'm coming over there and I'm snapping that whiteboard over my knee.
No, don't break the whiteboard, dude. I do have some devastating news for our fans.
Uh-oh.
Given that this is kind of the last week of the off-season schedule that we have, this will be the final Kirby's Top 5 for the rest of the year.
So that means we can get back to the Diddy counter?
Perhaps.
Chat, can I bring the Diddy counter back? You guys maybe put that in suspension for a little while.
They got tired of it. Yeah.
It's not like I stopped saying sus things around here. Lord knows, I've been saying them. What do you got for me?
Oh, all of a sudden, chat's upset it's the last top 5. Funny how that goes. Well, there was a movie that came out a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago now. That
I had a football coach that told me I needed to bring the Diddy counter back, by the way.
Did he?
Go ahead.
But this movie came out a few weeks ago, and it made me think about the company as a whole in this entire line of movies. So this week's top 5 will be top 5 Disney Pixar movies. Now, let me note that I'm only including one movie per series. So, for example, there's 5 Toy Story movies. There's only going to be one Toy Story movie on the list, or only has the chance to be that. So, just a quick disclaimer beforehand.
I'm just laughing at the idea that, we've had a ton of new subscribers this offseason that haven't been bombarded with the Diddy counter. The first time they get slapped in the face with Diddy, they're going to be like, what is this?
Oh, man. That alone was a perfect moment for that. So, number 5, we have Coco.
Huh?
Very underrated Pixar movie. I think if you have not seen this, I highly recommend it. It's a very Latin-esque movie. It describes basically family and grieving and ensuring that you represent your heritage and stay true to that. Very, very good movie. Highly recommend it. Anyone who watches it doesn't, or anyone who has not watched it does.
Go ahead.
Number 4, we have Finding Nemo.
A little low for me.
A classic. It's low, I understand. I think the 3 ahead of it are valid. It's a great movie, very rewatchable, aged very well, fun movie. It drags a little bit if you're a kid, though.
What's your favorite quote from that movie? Because I feel like most people go to the "Just Keep Swimming."
That got so overplayed for me.
Right?
People kept. I like when Darla comes and she's tapping on the glass, fishy, wake up. That's
wake
good.
up, fishy.
Yeah.
I like the turtle.
Oh yeah, dude, the turtle's good.
That was totally wicked. Yeah.
Oh, the mine is probably.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Oh, escape.
There's a lot of great quotes from that movie.
Well, I think it's a little low.
Understandable. We'll see if number 3 is any better. At number 3, we have The Incredibles. Fantastic movie, superhero movie. Also a really good study into just overall monotony in life and dealing with that. It's actually
got real deep.
It's a deeper movie. Well, it's a deeper movie. Than I think people. It's not just a superhero movie. Obviously, it is for the kids, but as an adult, you're like, man, I relate to this guy. This poor Bob. He's going to work every day. It sucks. He has a horrible life.
Yeah. There's a kid on the local soccer teams around here that's like Dash in the sprints at the end of the movie. This kid is the next Lionel Messi from the state of Georgia.
Oh, wow.
This kid is nuts. He's 6 years old, and everybody, all the coaches are like, hey, you can't play very hard today because you're going to score 17 goals. So just kind of back off and let everybody else have fun. There's one of those roaming the area here. I can't wait to track his career.
Are they going to make him play up?
He needs to. I'm telling you, last week I coached him. Our teams crossed over, and I was coaching him, and he was like, can I play hard? And I'm like, yeah, we're losing. Play hard.
Yeah, dude, try.
Yeah, let it eat, man. Go
and try. All right, number 2, Up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a sucker for sentimental movies, and I would say this is probably one of the most sentimental ones. We all know the beginning sequence and the ending and the story is itself. Very, very good movie. Great Disney Pixar movie. Before we get to number 1, as always, we have to do our honorable mentions. The first honorable mention I have, Ratatouille.
Good movie.
Just a great classic. Nothing really crazy about it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but definitely a good watch. If you haven't seen that one, watch it for sure. Honorable mention number 2, we have Inside Out. Another underrated one. One of the better new Pixar movies. I feel like Pixar really peaked from the late 90s to the early 2000s. This one came out in the late 10s and is a really solid Pixar movie. And the final honorable mention I have, and this isn't one that I think deserves a spot in the top 5, but because it's so new and I think it deserves a shout-out, an honorable mention, Hoppers.
Yeah, you've tweeted about this.
It's a good movie.
You liked this movie.
I liked this movie, and it's
never seen it.
As someone who does not really care for Disney Pixar movies nowadays, just because they've kind of fallen off, this is a good Disney Pixar movie. I recommend people watch this.
So I'm curious to see what number 1 is because there are 2 great movies left. Mm-hmm. There's only 1 spot left, so you left a great movie off this list entirely.
I probably did. I unfortunately
even though I'm not so prone on the second one that the chat's mentioning, but yeah, go ahead.
We'll see. The number 1, the epitome of a Pixar movie, I think the perfect way to close out a series in general, number 1 is Toy Story 3.
Oh.
It is the perfect ending. They should not have made a 4th. 5 was good, but unnecessary. It's a great
Is this Lotso?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great jailbreak movie, 1, but 2, the sentimental value, the way it closes out that series and the finality of it and how it allows the characters and the audience to grow up as the story progresses. Perfect movie, dude. Number 1.
Chat's pissed off about no Wall-E. I'm not a big Wall-E guy.
Wall-E's good. I think Wall-E is much more of like trying to be a message about, taking care of the environment than it is trying to be a great movie.
And is Cars a Pixar movie?
Cars is a Pixar movie, and I love Cars.
Rear view mirrors. I'll get you some.
I love Cars. I like all these movies a bit more than Cars. So
no Monsters, Inc. either?
Monsters, Inc. was good, too. It's just, again, preference, I would say I'd put the ones on that list ahead of it.
Hey, we only lost about 10 people watching us right there. So good job.
That's good.
Yeah, people were ready for that segment.
They'll be coming back in soon to watch the local hour.
Boy, that national hour flew by. We have a whole nother hour coming up for you guys right after the break. Love you. See you.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Welcome back in, everyone, after that short and brief break. I figured at some point we'll just fill that with 10 minutes of commercials, Just sell out completely. And
you think so?
In between shows, give the audience, a 45-minute, maybe an hour wait of just.
There is a time coming very, very soon where ads will return to this show, live reads, and I would like no complaints, even though I'm sure they will be plenty. We've gone 6 months on this show with no ads, no live reads. We've given it to you straight, raw, 2 hours. Okay, so the boys got to pay some bills, and the boys finna pay some bills. All right, so just get ready for that. Hopefully you'll like all the sponsors. Hopefully you'll do what we ask you to do, which is support those who support us. But that is coming, all right? So just letting you know. But, again, we've gone since January not reading an ad, not a single one on this network. So it's coming. It ain't going to be 10 minutes, but it is coming.
But don't worry, there won't be any ad reads in today's local hour, which we have a handful of exciting topics to discuss. One of the major returns that we have is the Discord Q&A. It's been a few weeks since we've done that, so we'll be diving back into that. SEC Media Days are right around the corner. This is our last show before we head down to Tampa. I'm going to give you an outline of everything to expect Coach Smart will say in front of the mic. I feel like most people know it, but I'm going to give you a walkthrough step-by-step of what that speech is going to look like. We'll play a little game of Would You Rather, where I'll give you some scenarios of, hey, would you rather have this? Everyone knows how you play Would You Rather. I don't need to explain it. And then, of course, we'll have some Guess That Dog. But before we get to that, there was an interesting data point that came out pretty recently about this Georgia football team that kind of surprised me, honestly, not from the fact of where they were ranked, but just what the age was. So if you don't know, the Georgia Bulldogs are going to have the youngest roster in college football this year. I believe, with an official age or average age of 18.9 years, which is like barely freshman age.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that kind of negates my whole talking point here. I feel like true juniors are, quote, young now in college football. Like every roster I look at nowadays that's not Georgia's is just littered with redshirt juniors or older. Graduate seniors, fifth-year guys, fourth-year juniors. It's just like the amount of rosters I look through that don't have a single sophomore on them in the starting 22 would blow your mind.
Yeah.
I would venture to say it's north of like 65% of the rosters that I look at. There's like one or two underclassmen, even in the two deep. So I was a little bit taken back by that this offseason looking at all these rosters. And because, there's only certain schools that get labeled with it. Like Indiana gets absolutely vilified by the idea that they've got old guys on their roster. But to be honest with you, everybody does. I think Georgia has experience without the age, though.
Correct.
They've got a bunch of true juniors, which, again, is young now, or younger football players that have played a lot of snaps, like Juan Gaston, Donnie Glover, Chris Cole, KJ Bolden, Elias Williams, Elijah Griffin, Quintavious Johnson, Justin Williams, Nate and Chauncey both, Isaiah Canyon, Joshua Horton, Joseph Jonah Ajonye. All of these players are young still, and they've played a lot of ball. Yeah. So, like, it is, yeah, they're a younger football team, but they still got a bunch of playing time and a bunch of experience.
And if it's any consolation to your data point of there's a lot of old players, the average age, I believe, is just over 21 years old. So Georgia is significantly below the average here in that. So, yeah, they are a young football team, and they are an inexperienced football team, but you have to imagine that will play towards an advantage towards them down the road when guys like Elias Williams and all these younger guys continue to stay on this roster.
18.9.
Yeah. Which, if you think about it, is right now mostly freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have a lot. Like, you've got some 17-year-olds on that roster. Everyone who's a freshman is 18 or younger. A lot of sophomores right now are 18 to 19, barely 19 if they are. So it makes sense if the majority of your roster is made up of freshmen and sophomore.
I mean, I turned 19 my freshman year in college. I thought it was 19.9. That's what chat's saying.
It could be 19.9. What I've seen
sub 20. Can't buy a beer.
Sub 20.
Yeah.
And they are the youngest in college football, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, that was an interesting data point I found. It's kind of the only really news that we had go around in circles this week, which again, we're still on the subscription that no news is good news around here. That'll probably change within the next few weeks.
Especially on the local hour.
Yeah, not for the worse, but just because the season is starting to ramp up. So that was the only really major talking point I think we had to discuss beforehand, other than the fact that SEC Media Days is coming and the big man himself will come ahead of a podium and give us a perfect speech and kind of the State of the Union for the Georgia Bulldogs.
You think you can map this out?
I think I can map it out pretty accurately.
I mean, I've listened to every single Kirby Smart SEC Media Day for the last 7 years, and I don't know what he's about to say.
Really?
I know we're going to get some type of slogan. But last year we got that in spring ball. Last year we got fire, passion, and energy during the spring. I don't know what it's going to be this year. Go ahead. I'm very curious to see what you got here.
Here's what's going to happen. Obviously, he's going to come out to the microphone. They're going to play the fight song. He's going to thank, Greg Sankey, everyone. He's going to thank the SEC. He's going to thank the city of Tampa. He's going to say something like, quote, "I'm excited to be here, looking for another great year in this conference. Appreciate all the work that goes into Tampa." He'll probably even thank the media, dude. Can you believe that?
Thanks,
After
Coach.
that, he's going to probably give a shout-out to his wife. I think people forget that their anniversary falls somewhere in mid-July. I vividly remember every year he talks about how, my wife has to sacrifice a lot. I'm missing our anniversary. So that'll be the next point.
I do remember almost every year Sankey talks about the beach trip Kirby just got back from.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think he does that right before he does this.
Then he will introduce us to the players. He'll introduce us about Gunner, Drew, Raylan. He'll have a quick little anecdote. I don't know what the anecdote will be, but...
You know what's making me feel old?
What's that?
You remember that video of Kirby racing his son Andrew on the beach?
Yeah.
Andrew was like it felt like he was like a toddler. He was like to the hip of Kirby.
I mean, that video's like 8 years old.
And now, he going to get smoked, I would imagine.
Yeah. So he's got a little anecdote. He'll give anecdotes about Gunner. He'll give anecdotes about Raylan. Probably tell some story about how they were at practice or when Gunner showed his leadership after all that.
Last year it was the and this doesn't count as a cutoff. This is an additive. Last year it was the story about C.J. Allen and the pizza parlor down there in middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Georgia.
and the Brock Bowers one.
Yeah.
Like, there's always fun stories to this. After that, they're going to go into the team. He's going to talk about how young they are, how excited they are, how, youth isn't an excuse, and he'll talk about how probably something like potential doesn't win us football games. We've got to have we've got to work hard. All the classic coaching points. After that, it's probably going to move towards the new schedule. He's going to hype up the SEC. This is our first year in a 9-game conference. I believe the SEC is one of the hardest schedules, yada, yada, yada. After that, we'll probably be at the 9 to 10 minute point around that, and then, say one other thing about how excited he is, might shout out a charity or something he's doing, and then he'll open it up for questions. So that's what you're going to have to expect from Kirby Smart's.
Ball, because I put down here over under 10-minute opener.
Yeah, it'll be about 10.
Yeah,
and then
I would go 10:05.
Yeah, and then we get about 5 minutes of questions about, coach, someone will mention something about, what the players may or may not be doing behind the wheel, and that'll obviously get moans and groans from the rest of the room. So we've been here before. We've had over a decade's worth of Kirby Smart Media Day appearances.
You missed it.
What's that?
No Stoops. He'll mention no Stoops this year. He'll mention he'll mention that he's the longest standing college football coach in the conference. 1,000%
correct. I missed that completely.
Yep.
He will also mention that of how
every year it's like me and Stoopsy, man.
Yeah,
We've been going through this.
I'm the elder statesman. I remember when Coach Saban was that, and now I'm the old man in the room.
Yeah,
he'll give something about that.
Definitely mention how he is the oldest longest standing football coach in this conference.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
It's by a mile now.
Man, I can't believe I missed that one actually.
I know.
I felt like I had all the nuances too. The Mary Beth wife shout out, the anecdotes. Thanking the city of Tampa and acknowledging what all has to go into it. Like I thought I had it. So aside from somewhere mentioning how Stoops is no longer there, that's what you will have to expect when Coach Smart comes in front of the podium. As far as players go, I don't really know. Those guys do not talk much, and I don't know what they're going to be asked. They also don't have to deliver speeches. So,
chat's asking about the Nike deals that were signed today. Got a bunch of new Georgia players signed with Nike. I think I saw 6 announcements.
Yes,
of such. There's a couple high school football players that are going to sign some deals with Nike too.
Mm-hmm.
That are Georgia commits. One of which is a tight end that had to get begged. I'm talking about begged to show up and just accept that deal. And that would be Jackson Dollar. Jackson Dollar don't give a damn about none of this stuff. He just wants to play ball. And I would imagine he's tough to have as a client if you're an agent. Him and Brock both. Where Brock's probably worth $100 million in marketing revenue if he wanted to be, but he don't want to be. And that's a pain in the butt if you're his representative.
It's ironic given his last name.
Dollar? Dollar bills.
Not chasing it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some Guess That dogs for you.
Oh, yes.
These ones are fun. I enjoyed making these ones. Would you like the easy one, the medium one, or the difficult one?
Give it to me easy.
All right. I was a 3-star signee in the Bulldogs 2018 recruiting class. This is before you were covering the team, but you did cover this player play.
Okay.
I played all 4 years at Georgia and saw action in every season.
I think I know who you are.
It's like I said, this is an easy one.
Are you on the wall?
Does not appear that he is.
Okay, so I don't know who this is. Go ahead.
I am a fan favorite despite playing at a rather unglorious position.
You sure you're not on the wall?
Oh, he is on the wall. My mistake. I missed that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it's Jordan Davis.
It is Jordan Davis. The other 2 hints were my plays helped me go viral online multiple times throughout my career, and I'm an avid lover of Swedish fish.
You think we still eat Swedish fish?
We probably dabble in it.
Yeah. Jordan is one of the greatest humans to be that violent on the football field.
Yeah. The rare
switch finder. You can find a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things that Trey Scott openly talked about. Mm-hmm. We don't get Trey in the media very often, but when he talked about Jordan, it was like one of the hardest things I had to get him to figure out was it's okay to be mean. It's okay to be angry.
And I was going to say,
here.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I don't think that that's a trait he had when he got to Georgia. Because a lot of it was like, he's big, but he's kind of soft right now. Like, you didn't really start seeing that killer instinct till like the latter years of 2019. And obviously he had a great 2020 season, and we know what 2021 was. But I think that's the epitome of development, where I don't know if I've ever seen anyone develop that switch. Like, I've always kind of been like, you're either a killer or you're not.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably why he was recruited by most schools as an offensive lineman. Because you meet that kid and you're like, no way.
Too nice.
Too nice.
Too happy to be there.
Yeah, I've had so many great interactions with Jordan in his post-UGA career. And I don't know why he knows who I am, or I wasn't anything when he was at Georgia, but he's very, very like polite and nice, and like remembers my son's name when I see him, and he's never, you know what I mean? It's like, it's insane. He is salt to the earth. Every time I'm around him, that's what he is to me. He is salt to the earth, like we're called to be.
My favorite Jordan Davis story was G-Day of 22. So this is when the graduated and the NFL draftees had come back to do their ring ceremony. That night in downtown Athens, he was there at Silver, and I watched from a distance because it was like, I'm not going to bother him. For probably 10 minutes, he just spent time hugging people in the bar. It was the craziest thing. He must have hugged 50 to 60 people.
Probably got COVID that night.
Maybe. I mean, this was the early 20s. But no, literally, like, dapping people up, biggest smile. Everyone's hugging him. They're taking selfies. Just happy to be there. Like, this is a guy who has already made millions of dollars. Hasn't made millions of dollars. Is about to make millions of dollars. Is about to be drafted. Probably never has to step foot in the city of Athens again. And is just enjoying and embracing that fan base. So yeah, Jordan Davis is certainly one of the better people to ever wear the red and black.
Such a great hugger too.
Yes, dude. I think that's why that's why people were lining up for it.
But he'll swallow you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You feel like you're so safe. So safe in JD's arms.
All right. Let's do the medium one now.
Come on.
I was a 3-star prospect in the 2023 recruiting class.
One more time.
I was a 3-star prospect in the 2023 recruiting class.
Okay.
I did not start my career at Georgia.
Okay.
I am still on the roster.
These are giving me nothing.
All right. Some of my best plays have come against teams wearing orange. All right. Final hint. If I were to be sold at a supermarket, you would probably find me in the section labeled premium crackers.
Oh, you're London Humphreys.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're London Humphreys.
Which one? The premium crackers gave it away?
Yeah.
The meme, dude.
Yeah.
Elite meme. Anytime.
My favorite meme is when they do the Pocahontas one.
Yeah.
These white men are dangerous. That's my favorite.
Hilarious,
meme.
dude. I can't wait for Gunner to have a 30-yard run this year. And even when Cash Jones was break it off for a first down, those memes would start flying in the Discord.
The Pocahontas meme cracks me up every time I see it.
That's the funniest part about our Discord is, like, if things are going well, it's one of the most enjoyable and funniest parts to be of. If Georgia isn't even, like, winning by as much as they should be, you can't look at that because that fan base just sours quickly.
Yeah, I don't miss being at home watching our Discord during games.
Ooh,
I'm glad I get to, and I'm sorry to our admins over there that have to handle that during game day. But yeah, I just get back to the house at like 2:00 in the morning, or back to the hotel whenever we do, or back in the car, and then I read through it and skim through it, and I really just skim through the timeout/ban list over there in Discord. I'm like, all right, who got kicked today? Who's going to send me DMs about how big of a PUSSY my admin is because you can't go in there and mother F Gunner Stockton in the middle of the football game? Yeah, no. That place is nuts on a Saturday.
It's a combustion chamber for sure.
Yeah, it is.
All right, final one. I was a 3-star signee in the Bulldogs 2022 recruiting class. So all 3 stars today.
Okay. 2022, 3-star.
I never started while at Georgia, but was complimented many times by my coaches and teammates.
One more time.
I never started while at Georgia, but was complimented many times by my coaches and teammates.
Okay. Are you from Colquitt County?
I'm not quite sure, actually.
You're not Dejon Edwards?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I think Dejon Edwards did start a game or two.
Okay.
But also, like, if you, like, do you ever start as a running back? Like, you're either the feature back or you're not.
Oh, man. That was one of my favorite questions Kirby's ever poo-pooed in a post-game press conference. Somebody asked him why one of the defensive ends started, or why one of the outside linebackers started in the game. And he was like, they opened in 12 personnel. What are you talking about? So, yeah, we had to run the outside linebacker onto the field. Stupid question. Next.
I wish he'd talk like that. Actually. He probably
he basically did.
Well, I mean, he probably did it much more respectful. I wish
he got somebody this year was like, do I need to explain to you what a extension of the run game is?
Yeah.
He hit somebody with one of those this year, and I'm like, hey, he doesn't deserve that. That guy's a good person. Do that to somebody else in this room.
He'll give it to anybody. He does not care. I'm just waiting on the day for it to happen to me. But I also feel like I don't ask questions that put you in those positions.
Nah.
So, let's see. Where were we? Okay. I am the epitome of a special teams demon.
Okay.
Final hint.
Oh, you're Cole Spear.
Oh, there you go. Just in the nick of
Yeah,
time. Final
you're
hint.
Cole Spear.
The biggest play of my career came in this year's SEC championship victory.
Yeah, you're Cole Spear. What other special teams plays did he make, though?
He was just always an effort guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that there's like a obviously the blocked punt is going to be that, but he was always a gunner on special teams. He's always someone that if you ever heard Kirby Smarter players talk about, like, man, that Cole Spear, he's routing us up at practice, but he puts in so much effort in special teams. So I think that he is kind of the epitome of a special teams player, and that's essentially what his career was made out of. I am kind of disappointed that he never got to earn a slot role. Obviously, I don't think that he was talented enough to uproot someone like Zachariah Branch or Sokovie White-Helton. But from everything you hear about what he did in practice, like maybe he could have done that on the field.
If you would have seen him in high school at Calhoun, you'd have thought he was on the sauce.
Yeah.
That dude was so shredded at Calhoun High School. I watched him he played in a playoff game against Blessed Trinity. Justice Haynes had 47 carries in that football game.
My cousin
47 carries and 5 targets out of the backfield. They got into a 2-minute where it was just like, Justice.
Yeah.
Go figure it out.
That's how it was in like 2018, 2019. Like it was just basically like, all right. Can you tackle Justice Haynes today?
I was standing next to a college recruiter that was there to see Justice, and it was a running backs coach. He who shall not be named. And I asked him, I said, hey, coach, like, when does the workload in high school get a little bit concerning for a back? Because they only have so many hits. Like, they only have so many totes. When does it become, like, a negative? You know what I mean? And he didn't answer. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me and said, and pointed to the field. Because Justice had gotten so many carries.
And they kind of did that with Steel Chambers, too.
Really?
I mean, not to that degree.
Friend of the show.
Not to that degree, but Steel Chambers was carrying the rock a lot during those championship runs. I mean, they three-peated in state titles. So, I've got some would you rathers.
I do too. I got a bunch of these.
Oh, you have some?
Yeah, I got a bunch of these.
Let's hear yours.
Kirby, would you rather be top 10 in explosives or top 10 in havoc rate this year?
Give me top 10 in havoc rate.
Really?
I think if you have an efficient, you don't need a explosive offense, and I know that there's analytics out there and everything. If you have an efficient offense that can score 7 points, whether they do it in 7 plays in 5 minutes or 3 plays in 30 seconds, you're still scoring 7 points. If you have havoc on defense, you're likely going to be getting turnovers and getting the ball back more. So I've always been a big defensive guy, even though I know what the analytics say.
Would you rather Gunnar Stockton throw for 3,500 plus yards or a running back have 1,000 plus yards rushing?
Ooh. Do I get to know how many rushing yards Gunnar has as well?
I mean, standard 380.
I'll take the 3,500 from Gunnar.
Yeah?
I mean,
He threw for 3,400 last year, didn't he?
Oh, we threw for like 2,800.
Really?
That's like a 600-yard increase on top of him still, yeah. I'll take Gunner throwing for 3,500, please. I believe 2,849 was his total from the 2025 season.
You got to stop hanging around me, brother.
Oh, I've always been like that, dude.
2,894.
Yeah, I missed
flipped the last two numbers.
I flipped the numbers.
That's football brain.
Dang.
I'm rubbing off on him. He don't even know it.
Dang.
He don't even know it. I'm rubbing off on him. Next thing you know, he going to be out here football braining left and right.
Dang.
Calling people all kind of different names that don't actually their names.
All right, I got one. Would you rather have Ellis Robinson play like the best corner in the country or KJ Bolden play like the best safety in the country?
Ooh. If you have the best corner in the country, you eliminate one half of the field.
Correct.
So give me the corner. Give me
But
the
if
best corner.
you're the best safety in the country, they're everywhere.
I mean, some people would tell you they already do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, that's true.
Some people are going in this year thinking KJ Bolden is the best safety in college football.
That's true. That's fair. Would you rather guarantee no injuries on your offensive line or guarantee that Isaiah Canyon goes for 850 yards this year?
Give me no injuries on. Well, ooh.
850 is a
deep.
lot.
Is the injury at center?
It could be anywhere.
If the injury's at center, it hurts big time. If the injury's at either the guard spots or the tackle spot, you're okay. Because I think you have 3 playable tackles right now.
And I think that's kind of.
You have 4 playable guards. I think you have 1 elite center and then a pretty drastic drop off. No offense, Cortez Smith, Malachi Tolliver. So I'd probably go 800 yards.
Okay.
But I don't know. The same 5 starting all 15, 16 games would be Indiana-like.
Yeah. But it's not that they have to start. You just don't have any injuries. Like,
Yeah.
they can still rotate guys as they want, but, like, you know, Ernest Green doesn't have a back injury. Drew Bobo never gets injured last year. Like, stuff like that.
All right, this isn't a would you rather. It's a pick a guy.
Okay.
Pick any player on the defense to become an All-American this year. Who would you pick?
Pick any player on the defense to become an All-American.
First
this
team,
year.
All-American. The best at his position in the sport. Who would you pick?
I think I'm going to go either Gabe or Quintavious.
Yeah, I was thinking Elijah Griffin.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. Interior.
Somebody that creates the havoc that they're obviously seeking.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong on the front 4, front 3, whatever.
Defensively,
they're gonna,
yeah.
Whatever they're going to run.
All right, pick an All-American on offense, Kirby.
Ooh, an All-American on offense.
First, I don't think Gunnar Stockton needs to be the best quarterback in college football for them to be what they need to be.
No, he does not. For the first team All-American?
First team All-American, the best at his position, who's it going to be? Or who would you pick it to be? Want it to be?
Honestly, I'd say Isaiah Canyon.
Really?
I think that you have a solid run game. Like you said, I don't think that you need a otherworldly elite quarterback. Your tight ends room is going to be talented enough. If you have a first-team All-American at your X, that offense is scary.
Has it been since A.J. Green? But he wasn't even first team because of Julio, right?
I don't even remember how far. Yeah, but I don't know if they've ever had one.
Be world-class right there. What you got? I got a couple more.
Would you rather be 13-0 and win the SEC championship with a first-round bye, or you're 9-3 with a home playoff game?
I don't think your schedule's 9-3 playoffable.
Okay. 10-2 with a playoff game. You lost to Ole Miss and Bama.
Yeah, give me the home playoff game.
Really? Over undefeated SEC championship three-peat?
Yeah, I mean, it's done nothing for you the last
I
year.
think that, and I think that is
absolutely nothing for you.
That is the perfect embodiment of like what that is like, yeah, it's great to go undefeated. Yeah, it's great to play well throughout the regular season, but all that really matters at this point is what happens in the tournament. Like Georgia is the epitome of like regular season conference championships don't really matter. They're just icing on top of the cake if you can make it all the way.
I'm dealing with some fuzz over here on the clips.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, here's one. Would you rather have 750 yards from Nate and Chauncey each, or one has 1K and the other has 500? So it's the same amount of yards, just distributed differently.
1,000-yard rusher means that football player took over football games multiple times in a year.
Yeah.
Give me the 1,000-yard rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would take that.
2 700-yard rushers is insane, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Georgia's had that since.
Elijah and DeAndre, they both went for Iraq one year.
Yeah, I think that's the last one in 2018.
Can we do that? That'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
Can we have 2,000-yard rushers? That'd be awesome.
That'd be incredible.
I do think, and I was kind of tailing the segment or turning the segment into something else. Gunner has to be a better designed quarterback runner this year.
Yeah, and he wasn't horrible at it last year.
Well, they didn't do it a ton last year, and he still missed some reads. Like the Alabama game, there is a quarterback counter read that should hit for 20 yards, and instead it's a -9 to Zachariah Branch because he handed it off when he should have kept the football. Those things have to get cleaned up, I think. And when you think of Gunner Stockton in high school, you think of this like dual threat type of guy. But I thought almost all of his rushing yards were off scramble, of him just being a great athlete in high school football. I don't remember Rabun County being a big design quarterback run football team.
Not from
when I watched him. So maybe he's just not accustomed to doing it. You know what I mean? But we got to I think we got to do that at a higher rate this year.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple more.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have a top 10 defense with a top 50 offense or a top 10 offense with a top 50 defense?
Top 10 defense with a top 50 offense.
Yeah.
Because
of the conversation we had in the national hour. I mean, it's a defensive era.
Correct. It's a defensive era as well. And like a top 50 offense can find a way to 30 points, especially if a top 10 defense is producing opportunities for that. If you have a top 10 defense, there's probably going to be some stolen possessions. There's probably going to be some short fields where, yeah, even if the offense isn't great, we can punch it in. We can make things happen. I don't see that as much the other way. Like, hey, we got to go out and score 45 today because the defense is going to give up 40. It seems much more daunting to do and less conducive.
I would want to look, and I wish somebody was nerdy enough with the stats on our team to do this for me. When I say, hey, can you go find me the average possession starting yard line during 2021 and 2022 and then compare it to what it was last year?
Ooh,
Because when you have a great defense, you get the ball in plus territory or you get the ball at the 40 quite often.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a bad defense or when you have a top 35 defense instead of a top 10 defense, your average starting position is it's impacted totally different. So, I think we talk a lot about those 21 and 22 and even 23 offenses, but a lot of that was because, dude, they got the ball at the 40.
Yeah.
They had 60 yards to go, and they had 6 first downs to get instead of 75 yards to go and 7.5 first downs to get. Like, that's totally different for a play caller, and it makes it a whole hell of a lot easier when our average starting position is much better.
And not just that. I think that it's gone very unnoticed how much Georgia's defense during that era was getting you off the field quickly. It weighs on you when in the first 30 minutes of a game, Georgia's offense just had a 5-minute drive and, yeah, it ended in a field goal, but we just had a 3-and-out. So now our defense is back on the field. You stack that up 2 and 3 times, and you're going to find ways to score points.
I love folks like Dennis Wilson right now in the chat because I know he's not blacked out in the sense that he's like hammered drunk, but he's blacked out in the sense that he is not listening to what we're talking about. He's just in there fighting the good fight in the chat for his own team.
There you go.
He ain't listened to a damn word we've said over the last 31 minutes. He's been in here fighting with our chat. And you know what? Good on you, Dennis. You keep it up. Keep it cordial. Keep it nice. But you keep fighting that good fight. We appreciate that for our algorithm bump, my boy. Because I know you ain't heard a damn word we've been talking about. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you've been sitting here listening. You've been sitting here typing. And I appreciate that, brother.
All right, one more. Would you rather be guaranteed to sign the #1 recruiting class or have no one transfer away from your program for 3 seasons?
Oh, the second one. Yeah, the second one. With the way that they do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you were a portal-based football team, who cares if guys leave? But you are a retention and development football program. That has been the #1 thing Kirby Smart talks about, maybe to a fault, where I think some of these guys, you're waiting around a little bit too long for development.
Yeah.
I don't think they trim the fat at Georgia. I don't think they're like, hey, buddy, it ain't worked out for you in the first 24 months. You need to go.
I think they do that.
You think they do that?
I think that there's been times, and I think there have been examples.
There's probably some pay cuts, but I don't think there's some.
I don't think they force you out. I do think that they strongly suggest that you look elsewhere. I mean, the best example I can think of off the top of my head is they did that to Stetson Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, hey, if you ever really want to start, you need to go somewhere else, go the JUCO route, and then they ended up bringing him back. But
the best example of this for me is Nyland Green.
Yeah,
where even I think Kirby's even spoken about that. He was like, we told Nyland, like, hey, you're probably not going to play here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll send you somewhere else, and we'll speak highly about you when you leave.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I do think they need to recognize misses and curve them way faster. Because nowadays when you recruit somebody that's a highly touted football player, you pay them a lot of money to get there. And then you probably have to pay them a lot of money the second year to keep them, even if they don't play the first year, because someone's calling them, telling them, hey, buddy, we'll give you the money. We believe in you. We'll play you. And then they ultimately, have to get a raise. So things like that, I maybe get a little bit more proactive in curving when you do miss.
Mm-hmm. I get it, yeah. I agree.
I think of one room in particular right now that the Discord and I were talking about all day today. I know you're not super frequent in there, but there's a position of need right now at Georgia where I'm not going to say there's dead weight on the roster, but there's guys that were highly touted that haven't played to their ranking in the first 2 years, and now we're going on year 3.
Yeah, and I'm sure that their logic in that is like, look at all the year 3 success stories that we have had.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate because, there are some instances where you look at a guy's career, it's like, okay, this guy kind of just floated around on the roster and never really impacted for us. But also, like, Quay Walker did not play his best football till the back half of his career. Like, a lot of those guys did not play their best football until they've reached the back half. Chris Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just thinking, though, Kirby, because, like, Quay Walker's a great fourth year. Great fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
But Quay Walker probably would have cost you, he's a 5-star linebacker, would have cost you $800,000 out of high school.
Sure.
And then his sophomore year might have cost you another $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then his junior year probably cost you another $600,000.
Right.
And now we're into a football player who hasn't really impacted our roster for $2 million.
I get it, and it's certainly something that you have to now weigh in this modern era of NIL where back then it wasn't that. But I think that they obviously have these data points of like, hey, if we get this guy to kick rocks and pound sand, and by the way, if you do get to that year 2 and it's like, all right, say, I don't know, Sokovi White-Helton, for example, because he hadn't had the opportunity to start, and then all of a sudden it's, all right, well, you can go elsewhere, and he balls out elsewhere. That looks so bad for Georgia. That looks so bad for that staff. That looks even worse as it does, okay, well, he's staying around too long. I would rather you stay around too long than leave too early and be a success elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things you have to weigh because you are right. Like, there are some players that have not made an impact yet, but the key word is yet.
Damn, did my man dip out after I called him out? That's unfortunate. I was trying to give him some love. Where were we at?
Oh, do you have any other would you rathers?
No, I don't. I'm out.
I believe it is time for us to bring
first
back.
time, long time?
Yeah, I think it's like first time in like 2 or 3 weeks.
First time in a long time. We've got Discord Q&A. All right, so if you want to be a member of our Discord, head over to patreon.com/Brooks Austin, and you will find an updated Discord link over there. Make sure you sign up for the $10 a month plan. That's the one where most of our folks hang out in the Discord. There's a lot of people that make that mistake, and then they realize, oh, this is an extra add-on for the super premiums. It is. All right, let's get over here to the Q&A. Do you think KJ or Ellis will make more of an impact this year, Kirby? This is from He's Him, a.k.a. Lil Nut.
That's adjacent to our Would You Rather.
I
honestly, I think I'm going to say it's KJ. I think Ellis is going to be one of the best corners in the country. I think that Ellis has been a top 10, top 15 corner in college football since he's been on the field, and I don't think that's swayed defense or offenses away from throwing at him. Like, outside of, like, Kamari Lassiter and DeAndre Baker, there very rarely is a cornerback where it's like, hey, offensively, we cannot throw to that guy. Like, Dalen Everett was a great cornerback for Georgia, and teams still went after Dalen Everett. Like, there was not a do not throw this way. So I think KJ Bolden, if he plays up to the potential that we believe he has, can make more impacts on the field because he will be all over the place. He will be more involved in the run game. He will be involved more in the middle of the field. So I think I'm going to go with KJ.
Jamil Sire asks, is the World Cup rigged? If you've seen that one dude who has basically predicted the entire World Cup back like 3 years ago, then yeah, probably you think that. G-Biff asked me to bring somebody into Kirby's office today. So let's do this segment. Give me a name. I'll bring him to the office. We'll have an off-season conversation right now.
Ooh.
Unscripted.
Give me 10 seconds to think of a name.
All right, I'll answer the next question. When is J. Will coming back? Monday. He's coming back on Monday.
Let's talk to DeMello Jones.
All right, DeMello. Come on in, baby. Hey, Swainsboro's finest. How you doing? Did you have a good off season? I hope so. Hell, you only been gone for about 3 weeks. Hope you stayed out of trouble. Looks like you did. All right, here's the deal. This Ellis Robinson guy, he been getting a lot of pub this offseason. But I want you to make sure everybody knows by year's end, we ain't no one-trick pony out here at the University of Georgia. All right, and you also need to know that everybody else reads those press clippings about Ellis Robinson. All of our opposing coaches, all of our opposing offensive coordinators that watch us, they will know, or at least they will think, that Ellis Robinson is the non-attackable one. So that means you better strap in, buddy. You better get ready, because when you play the second fiddle at corner at the University of Georgia, just like my cohort Kirby just got done talking about, even though I am Kirby, just got done talking about, the second corner gets attacked in this in this defense. So be prepared. Be prepared to get attacked. Also, wipe the slate clean. I think we're carrying a little bit too much still from that Ole Miss play. That's on me. I'm going to take the blame for that, because I didn't teach my safety that he shouldn't be on the far left hash. He should be on the middle of the field, so he can actually give you help as the center field safety over the top of any type of vertical seams. Okay? Also, probably could have got a hand on a little bit better, but you need to know that DeBron Stribling guy, he got Dalen in the same football game, he got Ellis in the same football game, and he got you. He just happened to get you in the biggest moment of the football game. So let's wipe that one clean. Let's get ready to go. All right? Also, buddy, I appreciate the fact that you are tackling SOB at this place, because you are our best tackler, and I need you to keep doing that. Okay? Smack him on the butt. Let's go.
I like that. I like that.
I do too. Let's go. Who we got here? What are your expectations for the passing game and Gunner's growth in that department? And also, help me start my fish tank business so I can put all my funds into UGA's NIL fund. This is the fish tank guy. This is the guy who is very adamant about getting a fish tank inside the studio.
Of all things to become like an inside joke in the Discord, the fish tank has really taken off, surprisingly.
I think he legitimately sells fish tanks.
I'm sure he does.
I don't think it's a bit.
I know, but like, I mean, he's
I think he works at like a pet store, and he sells fish tanks.
Sick.
I do think it would be kind of cool to just like have a fish tank in the wall right here.
Dude, those fish would die in days.
Days.
They would not make it.
No, they wouldn't.
They would just be floating like, oh.
You think Darla's tough on fish?
Yeah, dude. They'd be cooked.
You don't think like a Billy the Bass that we could grow and feed bluegill would be like fun?
It'd be cool, but it's not going to live very long.
No.
You got to take care of those things.
This house has got my family's got a real bad track record with animals that aren't dogs and cats. They don't last very long around here.
Understandable.
R.I.P. the lizard, R.I.P. the bunny.
You had a bunny?
When my wife and I first started dating in college, for some reason, we got a bunny.
Interesting.
And it didn't make it through the first summer at home. Not my home, by the way. My mother-in-law. Look into her. I don't think statute of limitations have gone past that. I blame her. She doesn't listen, so I know I can say this. Neither does my father-in-law, so I definitely can say this. She killed that bunny.
Oh, no.
Yeah, bunnies have really rapid heart rates.
Yeah.
So if you shock them or if you scare them or if there's anything, they'll have a heart attack. Their heart will literally explode. And we brought the bunny back to my wife's house at the time. She was living with her parents during the summer when we were in college. And you have to keep the cage covered for the first 5 days that they're in a new environment. And I think a dog got up there and killed that bunny via a heart attack.
R.I.P.
So, anyways.
But to answer the actual question that he asked in this,
there was an actual question?
About
Gunner's growth. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think honestly the passing game, I would like it to look like exactly what it looked like last year with 25% more converted explosives. Because the explosives were drawn up. It's not like it was hey, we're going to dink and dunk our way. The explosives were drawn up, but like we said, whether it was the quarterback's not pulling the trigger, or when the quarterback's trying to pull the trigger, no one's open, or when someone's open and the quarterback's going to try to pull the trigger, and then finally we have an opportunity, but our left guard gets cooked. That was happening too much last year to where you weren't getting those explosives. I think that's going to be what the difference is. I don't think we're going to see any new concepts. I don't think we're going to see any new plays. We'll see some adjustments based on your personnel changes, but I think that's what it's going to look like.
We do have some questions in the Super Chub category over here on YouTube. Nathan Barrelett 2992 says South Carolina will run their schedule this year.
All right. You paid money to say that.
Hey, don't discourage.
I'm not discouraging. I'm stating a fact. He paid money to say that.
7-5-8-4.
He must believe it.
7-5-8-4.
Yeah, man.
7-5-8-4.
That's right.
Now here's the actual question from Jeff B. Diamonds. If you have to pick one loss for Georgia this year, who is it?
Pick one loss for Georgia.
Now, is this a caveat where they only have one loss? And if that's the case, I don't know. Give it to me on the road at Alabama, top 10 opponent.
No, dude.
I know you don't want that. You want to lose to Oklahoma at home?
Not that early in the season.
Well, I went with what looks best as a loss.
Here's the problem, though. As someone who has been a member of this fan base my entire life.
Yeah, it was so Bama Brooks for me to say that. I'm
sorry. Has closely been associated with this fan base and has my thumb on the pulse of it. Losing to Alabama does so much detriment to the mental health of a Georgia fan that if you lose to Alabama, everything sucks. Everything was fine last year until Georgia lost to Alabama. Then Gunner wasn't the right guy. Mike Bobo needed to get fired. Kirby Smart wasn't going to win us another national title. Go back to 2024. Carson Beck sucks. Our defense sucks. We have no wide receivers. It's awful. The sky is falling. Happened in 20. Anytime Georgia loses to Alabama, the fan base just goes crazy and is so miserable for the rest of the season. So I would say, honestly, it would suck to lose to them again, but probably like an Ole Miss.
I don't want y'all losing a game out there at that place. Those people are hostile.
They are. But I could,
even though somebody did say they'd take us out to dinner if we come out there.
Oh, that's
very
nice.
But all I had to say was that Trinidad Chambliss was the best quarterback in college football.
I would much rather stomach another damn, this Trinidad Chambliss guy really is just that good and Georgia couldn't do anything about it. Then why can we not beat Alabama? What is wrong with this team?
Joe Cox in the Discord, he asked, outlook on the next 3 years for the Dogs. The floor, as long as Kirby Smart is the head football coach, is 10-2. I think in 2027, most likely, and I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I don't want to say that they're not going to win the job. I think you sign a transfer quarterback in January. I'm not trying to break any news. I just think that's going to be the case. I think if we knew that one of the 4 guys in the room right now was automatically going to start in 2027, we would feel that already. And I don't feel that. Do you feel that?
No, I cannot say that.
So that means they better be in the portal market in January. So I think in 2027 you start a transfer quarterback, hopefully maybe with 2 years left of eligibility, so he could start maybe in 2028, and then come 2029 is the Jaden Wade show. Assuming that Jaden Wade sticks in the class, which I know everybody's pessimistic about the ideas of that, but I still hold hope in the fact that they're going to end up signing him.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't even started yet. You know what I mean?
No.
Like they ain't even started to try to poach that one. They it's fixing to get wild, I would imagine there. Let's see here. Will Caden Prothro be a piece of the offense by midseason? I got one better for you. Day one. Game one, Caden Prothro is going to start and be in the rotation, and he's going to get 4 catches in game one.
Game one? Ooh.
Yeah. He's going to get 4 catches in game one.
It's Tennessee State game one.
Yeah. Contract signed yet? When's the announcement? None yet. Sorry. I just, it's under wraps right now.
It's up to something.
Yeah, we're still in up to something season. Now we're coming to the conclusion of up to something, but we're up to something in like 4 different areas right about now. Shout out to Bynum. Who's the top 5 offensive/defensive coordinators in the game today? Ooh.
Oh man, that's
it's hard to do off rip.
Yeah. That's one you got to prepare for and think about.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys that automatically, like, I love Schumann. I love Venables. Those are the 2 defensive coordinators I probably study the most.
Would you put Muschamp on that list, or has he been so?
We'll see. We'll see what it looks like at Texas Tech or Texas. I respect him a lot, though. But I haven't seen him call defensive plays in
4 years.
It's been a while. And then offensively, I watch Buster a lot. I watched Calandria today, and it kills me to say this. Dan Mullen knows how to call offense. There's no doubt about that. It's all the other stuff. I don't know if I would study him, though. I wouldn't take from him. Who are some other guys? I like the way DeBoer and Grubb coach quarterbacks. I think everybody else colleges their quarterbacks and like RPOs them or like just tries to make it easy on the quarterback. That's not what they do. They demand the quarterback to play it at a really, really high rate. And if he can't, then they'll figure something out like they did with Milroe. But I like the way that they scout, identify, and develop quarterbacks. I think they do a really, really good job over there.
There's someone we're missing, but
I mean, people will throw Sark in there, but I've watched Sark for the last 4 years, and I don't think it's
Buster.
Oh yeah, did I not say Buster?
I don't think you did.
Buster, I study him a ton. Look, Sark's great, but Sark's built off play action and deep overs. That's and a good screen game. He gets his screen game gets stolen. His wide receiver screen game, the what we call trailer, right? It looks like truck toss, but it's actually a trailer screen out in the back or out in the flat. He does good stuff there. Some of the fake screen and goes stuff that he does. Some of the 70-yard explosive he had in the SEC championship game where they're acting like they're throwing a tunnel, but in reality they're acting like they're throwing a screen outside the numbers, but in reality they're running a tunnel with the number 3 wide receiver. That stuff's really, really good. But his deep play action passing game is so predictable, I find. If you see play action, you know you're getting a deep over and a big post, and that's it. But he gets crapped on by me mentally because I just study him so much. They play in so many big games that I'm watching so much Texas tape around here.
And they have one of the biggest names in the sport at quarterback right now.
Correct, and it just wasn't good enough last year. So I'm sure it'll be back to that this year. There's a Would You Rather segment here. Stetson Bennett's clutch moments versus Brock Bowers' yak. Which one are you taking?
That's a great question. They're so different. I'm gonna go Stetson Bennett clutch moments. There was nothing more thrilling than watching a guy who physically does not look like he has any business leading the Georgia Bulldogs down to some of the most important moments of the game. Give me Stetson. Like Brock Bowers' yak is something to behold in its own, but it also made sense to some degree. What's that?
I don't know if I should read that. Carson Beck pick in crunch time or George Pickens availability?
What am I asking is more likely?
No, which one are you taking?
George Pickens availability.
Yeah.
George Pickens
I mean, a pick in crunch time is going to screw you up.
Yeah.
If George Pickens pops a pectoral muscle, or there's other ways to say that around here, if he pops one out, like, it's all right.
And also,
it's not okay, but it's all right.
And also, no, George Pickens did not see the field all the time. He had an ACL injury in his junior year. He only had a first-half suspension his freshman year. I think that there's a little bit kind of overplaying how unavailable George Pickens was. If you want to do that with Lawrence Cager, yeah, go ahead. Lawrence Cager had 2 good games, and outside of that, was this guy can't get on the field for us. George Pickens was a pretty much a mainstay on the offense while he was there.
Trying to see here.
You making a list for
Yeah, this question right here, it says you get an hour to chop it up with 3 people in the college football industry. Who's at the table? It's probably Brent Venables, Kirby Smart, and Dan Lanning.
You don't want to talk with any of the higher ups?
Why?
It's fair. They're not doing
Greg Sankey's got no answers right now. He doesn't know what the ultimate finality of the changes are going to be.
Can I get Lee Corso 10 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
And that's not to
not to
besmirch, but
I'm about to sound really, really arrogant. We've had conversations with the new person that is the head of the biggest media personality in college football, Kirk Herbstreit.
mm-hmm.
Like there's a line of communication there. So it's been done. I would imagine Corso would be very attainable 10 years ago if it were now. You see what I'm saying?
I get it. But I was also like, just from a standpoint of like seeing someone that passionate about the sport and that entertaining and having a one-on-one with them, legendary.
I picked 3 defensive guys because no matter what offense I'm studying, I feel like I can figure it out. All these defensive guys are doing stuff that they're like speaking another language most of the time, and I would love an hour to just slow them down and actually obtain what they're talking about. What players do you expect to have the biggest jump from last year to this year? Hopefully Gunnar Stockton.
I don't think it'll be a big jump.
No,
it'll be a jump.
Yeah, he'll take a leap.
I think guys like Joseph Jonah. I think if you want to like count like a Justin Williams who wasn't really starting last year, was kind of more of a role player, like those guys will be jump. Like Chris Cole, you could put on this list.
Where in the hell was I at when Jonathan ate a sandwich on this channel?
I think that might be AI.
Is it?
Maybe. I
honestly thought you guys were just goofing off during the spring tour.
No, because if he would have been.
So that's not real? He didn't eat a PBJ in the studio?
I think that
on camera? Main?
I think that might be a PBJJ will.
AI edit? That makes sense.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Because I saw that too and I was like, when did that happen?
Did we both black out?
No.
Brooks and Kirby, top 5 moments in college football history. That's
college football history.
Yeah, we need a lot of time to prep that one. I even read that pre-show and I was like, I need 15 minutes.
I can do top 5 moments of my life that I watched.
Go for it.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put the kick 6 at number 1 because that's, obviously the Alabama three-peats most likely. I know that Florida State team was great. Alabama at least gets close to three-peating if that happens. The overturn or the pass interference in the Miami-Ohio State national championship game, massive, complete.
Were you like 4?
Yeah, I mean, I was alive for that one,
okay.
so I'm counting it.
Okay.
Let me think of something else. Do you have any off the top of your head?
The David Pollock strip sack touchdown, sick.
Yeah, it is.
That was sick.
Yeah, it is.
Anything Noshawn did. Anything.
Oh wait, are we doing top 5 Georgia?
No, just those are both in the 5s for me. Those are top 5 plays / moments. Anything Noshawn did, the strip sack touchdown from Pollock.
All right, I'm just gonna make this a local segment. Obviously, number 1, the chip 6. Number 2, the missed kickoff at midnight, being in downtown Athens while that happens as the ball drops in New York. Insane, absolutely fantastic. The pick 6 against Clemson. It was my first game as a student there, watching it at a frat house. Never felt more alive at that moment. Let me think of some more fun ones. I'm at 3 now. Didn't end up being what you would hope, but watching Georgia come back to take the lead against Alabama was so fun. Obviously, that game didn't end the way you wanted. And then I would probably say the 2022 SEC Championship was a lot of fun to watch. Oh, wait, no. Time out. Georgia Tech. 24 8 overtimes, 42-44 final. That is in top 5 for me.
I might have to go back and watch that game. I just don't remember much of it.
It's a chore. Here's the thing.
I don't remember much of it.
And here's the thing. And I'll be the revisionist history for you on this. It's 8 overtimes in this incredible game. Georgia was down 17-0 in that game. Incredible. That game sucked for the first 3 quarters. It was watching a slow death. And then finally Georgia made something happen, and Georgia Tech goes up by 14 with 5 minutes left, and Georgia fans start like from the 7-minute mark until the end of the game is when you need to watch it, because the first 3.5 quarters are horrible. It's bad Georgia football. It's a slow game. It's not a high-scoring game. It's not very exciting. Georgia's not doing anything good. It's not a great game to sit down and watch. It's fun to watch the highlights and go back and relive the moments, but it's a 4.5-hour watch. It's not a very rewatchable game.
We'll end tonight's stream with an absolute layup. Bigger impact on the program, Stetson Bennett or Brock Bowers? I can't believe you're pausing.
I'm just like,
it's Stetson Bennett.
It's Stetson Bennett.
There are so many, like, the fact that the best player plays is a fact at Georgia because of Stetson Bennett. I'm sure there's other facts and there's other examples of that, but there is no finer example for if you are the best player, no matter what your profile is, no matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, you will play and you will be the guy. And I think that is an epitome of that. And he won 2 national titles. Now, I know you could say that I think Todd Monken, I don't know if he said this publicly. Whoops. I could say this. Todd Monken told me one time that 2021 we won the national.
Todd Monken.
He said this publicly.
This is public. He didn't tell you.
Okay, my bad.
Come on.
There's some things.
Come on.
2021 we won the national title with Stetson Bennett. 2022 we won because of Stetson Bennett.
Yeah. He said that recently, like a few months ago.
All right, so I know what it was that Todd told me, and I'll tell the Discord after this.
Do I know this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I chatted him up before one of the games last year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. We had about a 10-minute conversation before a game.
But yeah, no, I think from an impact of just the sheer story. Like Brock Bowers was a 4-star recruit. Brock Bowers was highly touted coming out of high school. He ended up being everything that and more and exceeding expectations. No one really wanted Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was running scout team on a national championship team, got sent to JUCO, came back, was told, hey, you can come on and be our backup. You don't really have an avenue to start. By some miracle, ends up winning the starting job because the stars aligned in 2020.
All right, we got to hard stop this because I'm due on another show at 10 o'clock. First World Problems. We got to go. If you want to see me, I'll be on an Oklahoma live stream in like 30 seconds. Love you. We'll see you in Tampa. Don't know if we're going to be live. Don't know if we're going to be uploading. It all depends on Wi-Fi speed down there in beautiful Tampa, Florida. By the way, anybody in John Gruden's camp listening to me right now, I'm going to knock your door down if you don't answer direct messages.